All right. What is up, guys? So I just wanted to do a quick video on how I've been using the new cursor update to ship products faster. So basically, if you don't know, cursor has this new update where you can actually have the browser inside the IDE side by side. So I think this is probably one of the biggest updates. I'm not sure like when they shipped this, but I recently found out about it like 2 weeks ago. And I think this has been pretty big. So in this video, I kind of just wanted to go over my workflow for that, and I think it can allow you to ship probably 10 to 10 to 15% faster. Um, and then what else? Yeah. I think I had another topic, but I'll like probably remember what I want to discuss later on. So basically with Cursor, what you can do now is that you can create these um chat instances, and then in each chat instance, you can either tell it to like change the local instance, or you could have it in a different work tree. So like a work tree is just basically a different branch from the 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 main branch. So let's say you have one version of the main branch that you want to keep stagnant. You can create a bunch of work trees, and you can just like test around with a bunch of stuff without affecting the main branch. Um, so that is like the main benefit. What I found is that sometimes like having a bunch of work trees like a bit too convoluted. It's like really good for trying to multitask, but sometimes like you actually lose productivity by trying to do like 5 different tasks at once. The only thing I notice is that like if the tasks are like really simple stuff like changing this button here or there, then having work trees for that I think makes sense. If you don't want to like slow down your main chat. But in most use cases, what I found is just having like one local, and then just making all the changes on that is actually much more productive. Um the one caveat is that like I really like this workflow, especially for front end changes. So for like back end changes, I still find like just using Codex or using Conductor to like have multi work trees is like really good, because sometimes you're not aware of like what the problem is, and then maybe you want to test out a bunch of solutions. So having a bunch of work trees in that instance is like very good. But for like front end changes, what I found is that if you have like a IDE with the actual browser like side by side, that saves a lot of um time, just because before you would have to like either spin up a local server, or you would have to deploy something, and then something's off and then you have to make a change. So what I found is that like if you're able to make changes just all in this one flow, then I think that is a really like efficient for coding front end changes. So that was the learning that I picked up with after like using this for like 30 hours. What else? Oh yeah, the other thing is, I'm not sure if you guys already know this, but if you like point this probably isn't best practices, but like if you want to ship fast, like this is like what like one of the ways, which is like you just point the local server or like local front end to read data from your actual production database. Obviously, you shouldn't make like write access um write changes to other people's data on your front end on your local device. But what you can do is, like, let's say you have data on your test account that is on production database. You can just point your local front end to that production database, so that there isn't like this wasted time of like figuring out, oh, this is on local, this is on production, where like you're only testing on production data, or not testing on production data, but like you're like mimicking as close to production as possible, like without literally like changing production code. So like that has been a pretty big game changer in terms of making like this entire flow more seamless. And then I think that's it. Like I think there are a bunch of other ways to make this flow much faster, but what I found is just like having like one super tight knit flow, especially for like front end changes, and reducing context switching, and just testing stuff like very um comprehensively before moving on to new changes. I think that is actually saves a lot of time, because in the past I would try to like do 10 front end changes at once, and then let's say like one front end change has some bug, like I would totally forget what was happening with my other 9 changes, right? But now what I found is that like if I just focus on one change, and the other caveat is that now I think this is Cursor's custom model, which is the composer one. So this is like quite fast, and I think for front end change it's like it's good enough. I'm not sure if it's good at debugging. Like what I found is that Product is so pretty good at debugging, but basically it's fast enough where like you don't have that big of a performance boost by doing that much context switching. So what I found is just having like one task, finishing it, testing it end to end on the code on the cursor browser, and then moving on to the next task is a lot more efficient. Um and something that I'll probably be like testing still going forward, but like I think that is like the ideal flow unless something changes. And then the other, yeah, so like the last thing is that one of the biggest things that I found that I still like spend a lot of time on is like doing the PR management. So what I mean by this is like after you finish the code, like you have to create the PR. What I found is that it's still like very annoying to create clean PRs. I'm not sure like if I'm doing it wrong or not, but like what I'll do is I'll just tell it to like take all my changes and create one PR with it. But like still sometimes it'll create these PRs with like 10 changes, so it's like very hard to review. So that's probably something that I need to figure out, because I think I've spent like probably 30% of my time just like figuring out like how to make the PRs cleaner. Um I'd like try to write like these I don't know, quick commands, but they're still not good enough. So yeah, that is my learning for the week in terms of cursor and coding. So hope you guys learned something, and I'll see you guys next time.